Hello, my name is Laura and welcome to Post-Concussion Yoga. This is level 1, class 2. For this practice, we're going to get started on our backs. So you can do this in bed if you have a firm enough mattress. You don't feel like getting up. And making sure you have a pillow underneath your head for a little bit of support. And if possible, enough room overhead so that we can extend our arms. Taking up as much space as you'd like, wherever you are, mat or bed. Beginning to connect with the breath, with your breathing. Observing where it is in your body today. Allowing yourself to ground down in this present moment. Allowing all the tension to release from your forehead, in between the brow, softening the tongue and the jaw. Making sure that the shoulders are lowered far away from the ears. Softening through the core. Hips and legs, arms are heavy. Maybe taking an opportunity right now to set an intention for your practice. It may just be presence. And begin to bring your chin over to your left shoulder. Slowly stretching out the side of the neck, and we'll do that the other way. Inhaling to come to center and exhaling over. Just following this in your own breath. And bringing the head back up to center. On the next inhalation, we'll bring the arms up over the head. And stretching them up and back, and maybe lifting the low back as well. And then exhaling them down by the sides. We'll do that again, inhaling the arms up over the head. And exhaling them back down. Rotating through this. Again, following your own breath. And exploring, just seeing how deeply you can breathe. And releasing the hands back down to the mat. Bringing the knees into the chest. Holding onto our shins with our hands. Giving a little squeeze. I have a little cat friend with me for this video. This is Mitchkie. We'll start doing rotations. Knees as your guide. And switching directions. Maybe bringing softness back to the face, And coming back to center. Squeezing the knees in just a little bit more. And then slowly placing the soles of the feet down wide. Maybe just on the edges of your mat, maybe even off. And allowing the knees to come in together. Placing the hands on the low belly. Allowing a little bit of internal rotation to happen in the hips. And from here, we'll begin to windshield wiper our legs side to side, so bringing both knees over to one side. Trying to keep the back planted down as much as possible. Inhaling the knees up to center and exhaling them down to the side. Bringing the knees back up to center, bringing them into the chest. Then we'll bring them over to the right side, dropping both knees. If you need a block or a pillow for a little bit of support, either underneath of the right leg or in between the legs, feel free to grab one. You can extend the left arm out long if that feels good, and following with the neck if your neck's up for it. You can also keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. Breathing into this twist. Imagining that your breath is massaging your internal organs. On the exhalations, drawing the navel towards the spine so there's no stale air in the low belly. On the inhalations, filling up fully. Slow, even inhalations and exhalations. Maybe stretching the left hand out a little bit more and willing that left shoulder towards the floor. One more breath here. And slowly beginning to bring the head back up to center, followed by the knees, bringing them in for a little hug. And then bringing them over to the left side, extending the right arm out and following with the gaze if that feels good for your neck. Always connecting with the breath. Stretching that right arm out a little bit more, willing that right shoulder down, deepening the twist. One more breath here. And slowly beginning to bring the gaze back up to center, followed by the knees. Placing the soles of the feet down on the mat. And we'll bring the soles to touch and allow the legs to splay open. Again, if you need a little bit of support for your legs, feel free to grab blocks or pillows. You can keep your feet close into your body or a little bit further down if that feels more accessible to you. Hands can be on the inner thighs, guiding them open a little bit more. Softening here. And bringing our hands to our low belly for a moment. And we're going to pick up one of our hands, pointing with our index finger and bringing it out in front of our face. We're going to do some finger push-ups. So focusing on the finger, we'll begin to withdraw the finger, bringing it up higher. And then slowly bringing it in close. And the moment that you start to see the finger divide into two, stop. And withdraw it. We'll just rotate through this. And finger push-ups are good for convergence insufficiency. So that is when the image starts to split. This is just training the eyes, training the brain, giving it a little bit more focus. Animal friends are welcome. All right, we'll do one more. And then releasing the hand down, closing the eyes and giving the brain a little rest. With the eyes still closed, bringing the hand to the outer thighs and guiding those legs back together. Soles on the ground. Bringing the knees into the chest. We'll begin to roll onto our left side, taking a fetal position. You can add a little bit of extra cushion with your arm. Bringing the knees in as close to the body as feels good. Giving yourself a little hug. And sending air to the back side of the heart, opening up through the back side. And with the eyes still closed, no rush, begin to make your way up into a seated position. So coming up in your seated position, if you'd like a little bit of extra padding or a little bit of lift, if this is a little hard for you, for your knees, if you have a block or a pillow, you're welcome to place one underneath for a bit more support. We'll be here for a little while, so get comfortable. Placing hands down on the knees. We're going to take an inhalation here, rolling the shoulders up and back, opening up through the chest. And begin to tuck your chin in towards your chest, relaxing the shoulders down. Connecting with the breath, feeling it fill up the low belly, all the way up into the rib cage. And releasing it gently. Feeling the back side of the neck release. And with the chin still tucked in, we'll begin to draw it over towards the right shoulder, dropping the ear down as far as feels good. Relaxing the left shoulder away from the ear. Spine is still long. Chin still tucked in. We'll begin to draw it over towards the left shoulder, drawing the ear down as far as feels good, relaxing the right shoulder. Breathing into any tight spaces you might feel in the neck. And from this position, with your chin as your guide, begin to draw really slow circles going all the way up and around. And the reason I say slow is so that you don't get dizzy. And we'll do 3 circles in one direction. Really feeling out the neck, the cervical spine. When you reach the bottom of your 3rd rotation, switching directions. And you can have your eyes closed for this if that feels more comfortable. And then coming back to center. We'll extend our arms out in front of us, making sure that our shoulders aren't jutting out too far, so our back isn't flexed, our chest is still open. Pointing the palms down. And we'll begin to rotate the palms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then all the way down and around as far as you can go. Rotating through this. We'll do one more. Just feeling it all the way to the shoulder. And then coming back to a neutral position, palms are facing down. We'll bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then down towards the ground. Giving the wrists a gentle flexion and extension without any weight. Next time we get up with the fingers, begin to wave gently side to side. And then coming back to stillness, pointing the fingers down, and then wave side to side again. Maybe stop to pet a cat if there's one in your way. And then bringing them back in and dropping the hands down. Bringing the arms out to the side, making a cactus arms. And we'll lift our chest up, bringing our chin up and back as far as feels good. Breathing here. A gentle engagement with the low belly, with the core. Taking a full inhalation with the open cactus arms. On the exhalation, we'll start to draw both arms towards each other. Pinkies touching, elbows touching. Inhaling the shape up towards the ceiling as far as feels good. And then on the exhalation, tucking the chin in, curling through the spine, and slowly making your way down as far as feels good in your body. Maybe your fingertips touch. Inhaling to come back up. And exhaling all the way down. Curling through the spine, tucking in the chin. Inhaling up again, finding lift. And when you reach the top, on the next inhalation, opening up to cactus arms again. And bringing the fingers out in front, we'll begin to make fists with our hands. Squeezing, 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 and then imagine that you're spraying water on someone with your fingers. And then begin to rotate the wrists up towards the ceiling, still flicking. And then down towards the ground. And wiggling out the fingers. And releasing them down to the knees again. Checking your posture, finding lift through the core. Shoulders are back and down, chest is open. On your next inhalation, begin to bring both arms up over the head. And then just for now, start to shrug out of your shoulders, bringing them all the way up to the ears, finding as much extension and length as you can through the spine, maybe shifting your gaze up if that feels good for your neck. Taking an inhalation here. On the exhalation, begin to bring your right hand down towards your mat or your bed. Exhaling the left arm over, bending into the right elbow. You can gaze down or you can gaze up. Breathing into the left side body and finding a little bit more space through the rib cage, through the intercostals. Inhaling to come back up to center with both arms. Finding lift again, and then exhaling the left arm down, bending into that elbow, and bending over to the left side. Imagining that you're pulling through the right fingertips. Inhaling both arms back up. Lifting, lifting, lifting. You can lift the shoulders. And then exhaling, release. Hands back down. Shoulders are relaxed. So whichever foot you have tucked into the inside of your easy seated pose, we're just going to bring that foot out and tuck it into the front. Just to give a little bit of balance here to the seat. You might find that the side's a little tighter. That's okay. We all have a tighter side. And we'll begin to inhale, lifting up through the torso, and then on the exhalation, drawing yourself forward. And keeping the chest broad, shoulders are back. And then from here, we'll begin to draw circles going all the way back and around. Inhaling when you go back and then exhaling to come forward. Hinging at the hips. And we'll do one more rotation. And then switch directions. And then inhaling to come back up to center. We'll bring the feet to touch, the soles of the feet out in front of us. So if you have a block underneath you, you may want to remove it. Again, the feet can be as close into the body or a little further away as feels good for you. Coming up with a long spine, holding on to the feet, and maybe just splaying them out a little bit. Encouraging the hips to open, maybe just a little bit more. If you need any props or any pillows for your legs, by all means, place them underneath. And we'll inhale here for a long spine. And then exhale, forward folding, coming from the hips. And only going down as far as feels good for you without flexing into your spine too much. We want to stay lifted. Imagining that the chin is your guide. Breathing here. On your next inhalation, beginning to come all the way back up. And releasing the feet. You can keep your legs like this, or if you'd like to bring them back into a cross-legged position, you are welcome to. And we'll bring a finger out in front of us again for another eye exercise. So this is a vestibular exercise. We will keep the finger stationary, and we're going to start to move the head side to side. Just watching the finger. So this is for a little bit of balance, coordination. We'll do one more each way. And coming back to center, dropping the hand down, closing the eyes, giving them a break. Connecting with the breath. And beginning to make our way down onto our bellies. If you have a pillow, you're welcome to remove it for now. We're going to make a little pillow with our hand instead, bringing our forehead down, elbows out. Reconnecting with the breath and releasing any tension we may have been holding on to. Begin to bend into your knees, bringing the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling, flexing through the heels. We'll begin to reverse windshield wiper our legs side to side. Doing this slowly. It's a nice roll out for the quads as well. We'll do one more on each side. We're bringing our feet back up towards the ceiling and then laying them out long again. And we'll bring our arms out into cactus arms, placing our left cheek down wherever you are, bed or on the mat. Softening the neck. And begin to bring your right leg up towards your elbow. So the knee to elbow, flexing through the foot. Going as far as feels good. And allowing the hip to open. Breathing into any tight areas that you might have in that area. Breathing into any tight areas that you may have around the hip. And we'll be here for 3 more full breaths. And from here, begin to extend your left arm out long, placing the right hand underneath the shoulder, and we'll begin to roll gently onto the left shoulder. You can place your right leg either just stacked on top of the left. If you'd like, you can also bring it behind you. And you can bring either your right hand, you can keep it grounded on the mat, or if you're a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open, you can bring it to your low back, rolling the shoulder up and down the back. Breathing here. If at any point you feel any tingling or numbness, by all means, feel free to start backing out of it. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. And then slowly coming back down to the belly. Bringing the legs out long. We'll bring both hands underneath the forehead again, placing the forehead down. Relaxing completely. Just observing how one side may feel a little different than the other. We'll begin to do this on the other side. We're going to cactus our arms out again, placing the right cheek down this time, and we'll bring the left knee up towards the left elbow, flexing through the heel to protect the knee. Sending breath to any tight spaces that you might feel. And allowing yourself to soften into this posture, allowing gravity to release the hip. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. We'll begin to extend the right arm out, placing the left hand underneath the shoulder and slowly rolling onto that right shoulder. So again, taking your variation of choice with the legs, either having them stacked on top, maybe bringing the right one behind. You can keep the left hand grounded or maybe bring it to the low back. Rolling the shoulder open, finding a bit more extension through the chest. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. And slowly unwinding, coming back onto the belly. And making a little pillow for your head yet again. Relaxing down, relaxing all the tension away. Just feeling the breath expand against the ground. Feeling it fill up the rib cage, the low belly. We begin to bring our hands underneath our shoulders, tenting our fingers and bringing the elbows out to the side and beginning to draw slow circles through the shoulders, one at a time. Really feeling this all the way into the back, so the scapula, the shoulder blades, moving in, and finding fluidity here. And we'll switch directions, rolling the shoulders forward. And coming back to a point of stillness, we'll bring the elbows underneath of the shoulders, coming up into a Sphinx pose. Placing the hands down wide on the mat in front of you. Imagine that you're trying to pull your chest through. Finding lift, finding openness. Gazing down at the mat. If this is enough of a back bend for you, you can stay right here. However, if you're a little more flexible, would like to try a little bit more, start to press into all your fingertips and begin to slowly straighten the arms. So only going up as far as feels good. You might have a nice soft bend in those elbows. You might be able to extend fully up. Maybe tilting the head back when you get there. And then exhaling slowly back down. And bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders. Bringing our chest down towards the ground. Elbows by our sides. We'll bring the hands down a little bit further towards the rib cage. bringing the big toes to touch at the back. On your next inhalation, begin to draw both feet up off the mat, lifting the shoulders up and back. You can support yourself with your hands here, but you really want to feel the back line of your body start to fire up. Breathing here. On the next exhalation, slowly lowering down again. Inhaling to come back up. Making sure that the chest is open. Glutes are on. And exhale to come back down. We'll inhale up one more time. And this time, maybe hovering the hands and feeling the core come alive. Breathing here. And exhaling all the way down. And we'll bring arms out long in front of us, maybe moving the pillow away. And relaxing down. Bringing the right hand underneath the shoulder, we'll start to roll onto our left side. Bringing the left palm up towards the ceiling. Placing the right arm long against the body. Begin to inhale it up towards the ceiling. And then exhaling it to meet the left. Inhaling it up. And exhaling it down by the side. Inhaling it up again. And exhaling it, clapping it down with the left hand. And then inhaling it all the way up. And exhaling it down. We'll do that one more time. And then slowly making our way back onto our bellies. Placing the left hand underneath of the shoulder, rolling onto the right side. Bringing the right palm up towards the ceiling. Extending the left leg, the left arm long by the body. Inhaling it up. Finding a reach with those fingertips, exhaling it down to meet the left hand, the right hand. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it down by your side. Inhaling it up. And exhaling it over. Inhaling it up again. And exhaling it down. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling it up. And exhaling it down. Maybe it reaches the right palm. Coming back onto the belly. And bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. And we'll slowly make our way back into a seated position, kneeling, tucking the toes underneath. And coming up fully. And stretching the toes, closing down the eyes. You can stay right here If you'd like to untuck your toes, you're welcome to as well. If you need a little bit of support between the legs or the buttocks, feel free to grab a block or a pillow. And we'll do our last eye exercises from here. So bringing out a finger. This is the Socrates exercise. So we'll keep our head still. And we'll move the finger side to side, following it with our gaze. And trying to keep the focus. And trying not to move the head. We'll do one more each side. And bringing it back to center, and dropping the finger, dropping the hand, closing the eyes, and giving the brain a little rest. And if your toes are still tucked under, begin to untuck them. And we'll swing our legs over and around, making our way back into a final resting pose. Placing the pillow underneath the head again. Taking a moment to recenter on our backs. We'll place both feet down on the ground, about hips width distance apart, bringing them in as close to the body as feels good. So maybe you're feeling the heels of your feet with your fingertips. And begin to lift the right foot up off the ground, hooking it over the left thigh, flexing through the heel. Allowing the leg to splay out as much as feels good, maybe placing the right hand down by the base of the leg and giving it a gentle push. Finding a little bit more space between the femur and the hip socket. Just a gentle push. And releasing that push, we'll start to thread the right hand through the hole, connecting both hands over the left shin. Add a little bit of a sway here, side to side, if that feels good. Again, breathing into any tightness you might feel in the hips. And coming back to a point of stillness, you could stay right here in this figure four shape. However, if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, you can bring your hands to hook over your hamstring instead and try extending the left leg up towards the ceiling, flexing through the heel. This is a really great calf stretch. And slowly lowering that leg in. Unthreading the arms, placing the heel back down, unhooking the foot from the leg. We'll place the soles of our feet wide, placing our hands on our low belly and just windshield wipering out the legs side to side a little bit. Feel free to go as slow as you'd like. If you find a sweet spot, you may stop. One more time on each side. And then bringing the knees back up to center, bringing the feet in closer towards the body, about hips width distance apart, lining everything up. And then we'll lift the left foot up, hooking it over the right thigh, flexing through the left heel. And then maybe placing the left hand down by the base of the left leg, giving it a gentle little push, finding a little bit of space. Releasing the push, threading the left arm through the hole. We'll connect both hands over the right shin. Again, you can add a little sway here. Finding your way back to your breath always. Finding your way back to your intention of presence. Coming back to a point of stillness, staying right here, or maybe hooking our hands around the hamstring instead and extending the right leg up, flexing through the heel, finding a release through the calf. And slowly beginning to bring that leg back down, placing the sole of the foot down, unhooking the left foot. And we'll bring the knees into the chest, bringing the knees out towards the armpits. You can stay right here holding onto the shins. Or if you'd like to take a happy baby, you can extend both legs up towards the ceiling, holding on to either the outside of the feet or maybe the shins. Wherever feels best for you. Making sure that you're flexing through the heels. Then we can add a little rock side to side if that feels good. Maybe placing a soft smile on your face so it's a happy baby. And releasing whatever you're holding on to, bringing the knees back in towards the chest. We'll give ourselves the biggest hug yet, wrapping around as far as we can, lifting our head up, curling into a little ball. And begin to tense up everything in your body, from your toes all the way up to your forehead. And then release, fully extending out for a final resting position. Taking up as much space as you'd like. And getting comfortable. Allowing the breath to become natural. And again, releasing any tension that you may be holding on to in the face, the tongue. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Allowing your body to completely surrender to gravity. You're welcome to stay in final resting pose for as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for joining me today. and for meeting yourself wherever you are. Namaste.